Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be getting Alien Earth very, very soon, and I'm very, very excited. I know some of you guys are as well. Some slight bits and pieces here and there I'm a little bit on the fence about, but not massively. You know, the majority of this I'm pretty keen on. We've got some new character breakdowns, some new information from interviews, some expansive information from previous statements. So it's worth covering, worth going into. One of the main things which I found quite interesting is the reveals, anyway, about Boy Cavalier, who is the CEO of Prodigy Corporation. This is it is a new company, but it's not the replacement company for Weyland-Yutani. It's the rival company. It's the rival mega corporation. So it's worth taking a look at some of the information here. And again, I just found it quite interesting that this chap, this boy, because he is quite literally a boy. Well, he's not really a boy. He's a young man. His insights, what his character motivations are, and just some of these behind-the-scenes pieces of information. So hit subscribe if you're new here. Do turn the bell notifications on. I can't wait for this. It's 10 days time now. It's releasing, which is brilliant. Yeah, I'm really keen on it. This will be a momentous occasion, actually. This is the first time it's appeared on the small screen. So, like I said, hit subscribe. Let's dive into it, shall we, ladies and gents? So, this is on Rotten Tomatoes. And like I said, Rotten Tomatoes has a little bit of an expansion to some previous information that we'd had. So, this is all to do with Boy Cavalier. And there's other bits and pieces here as well, by the way. So, this is from Hawley. And he says the following: in order to make it feel contemporary, we needed to address that idea that this whole thing is the whim of this prodigy, and that what you get in a corporation is a diffused decision system where nobody actually decides who is at fault, and therefore it doesn't have to be a human decision. And so that's equating the current situation in business world to the episode of The Twilight Zone where a boy gains the power over reality. The companies of Alien Earth represent that devilish child with control of all the toys. There's something so awful about having to please someone who doesn't have a rational view of the world or is subject to their own whims. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It's that sort of hubris, I guess, to a degree. You know, these people are so big in terms of they're untouchably large, aren't they? They won't ever reap what they sow. And there's, I guess you could compare this to politicians' decisions as well. No matter what side of the aisle you sit on, some of any politician's decisions, some of them are so disconnected from the consequences of their actions that they just are blind to it. It's mad, really. So Samuel Blenkin, who's the actor, also said he's very much at the top of the pyramid, much more of an artist or a creative rather than a scientist. He also has an ability to reframe and reevaluate problems and come up with solutions that are basically looking at it from way outside the box. And so, yeah, sometimes he throws a couple of curveballs in there. He's never been told that he's wrong. I don't think he's ever had a moment where somebody has said that you are wrong and it's had any impact. Which is fascinating, really. I always think to myself, when you have characters like this, what was their upbringing like? You know, has he made his wealth, or was he born into it? What creates unintentional monsters like Boy Cavalier? Because that's what he is. He's an unintentional, one would imagine he's an unintentional monster. He may not be, actually. We may watch the show and he may be just a brutal arsehole, but we'll see. So we also had some information about the hybrids. Wendy's quarters at the lab are far more homey, with stuffed animals adorning her bed and other knickknacks harkening back to her life before becoming Wendy. The hybrids still have a lot of their childhood things. They're still coping with their adult selves. And this is from Knox Johnston, who is one of those individuals that plays a hybrid. Her synthetic half, though, is represented by a strange toilet seat-shaped pillow used to recharge her power banks while her human consciousness sleeps. That's interesting. That's really interesting. It seems that the new hybrids will need regular recharging as well as sleep, which is something, I mean, that's like completely unknown, to be fair. That's completely new. So in terms of the Peter Pan allegory, Hawley shed some light on why. So he says it just felt like that was there to explore. And does it help that it literally marries the Disney brand with the FX brand? Surprisingly, it does help. Although he was quick to note his plan to use some Lost Boys iconography predates Disney acquiring Alien and the rest of the 20th Century Studios assets by several years. So there's also a little bit of information about the motivations of certain members of the Lost Boys, starting with Curly, who's played by Arana James. For us hybrids, there's a lot of conversation about these lives before we've been given these lives now. Interesting. So grateful for the opportunity that she's been given, and she's very eager to prove herself and show just how grateful she really is. So I guess actually there may be even hybrid on hybrid conflict. If you've got some that question and some that are eager to please. Again, like children vying for attention from their parents or, an approving adult, basically. That could be really interesting. Another individual who plays a hybrid says that his hybrid is almost identical to what he was like when he was 10. He has this kind of very robust sense of positivity. He loves his people. His relationships are a priority in life, as are mine and my friendships. He's in a unique position in the show where he has exactly what he wants. And again, more hybrid stuff. So the character of Nibs, the actor says, the actor felt the key enhancement is the fully grown body her character now inhabits. To be treated as a superhuman adult is kind of unprecedented privilege for her, she explained. Nevertheless, Nibs isn't exactly happy in her new form, but is still excited to explore what that body is capable of and to be treated as special. So the article further elaborates about Tootles, who is Kit Young's character. A child, as he's growing up, more than anyone, wants to really seize a form of identity and discover who they are and be allowed to grow up. Unfortunately, the hybrid's new names, faces and forms are not necessarily their own to choose. If someone decides that for you, any kid is going to kick back. At the same time, Toodles has a desire to be treated seriously as an adult, especially by Kirsch, who's the synthetic character, Timothy Oliphant's character. So there's a little bit more information about the scientists that basically developed the hybrids. It says at the start of the show, they are two idealistic scientists living their dream. They're really working together to fulfill the dream. One's a technician, one's more of a theorist, the dame. She's also in charge, and our work has become our family. I'm definitely the mother figure. This is Davis, the individual that plays the mother scientist figure. I help the hybrids go from play into grown-up while still keeping open that creativity and trying to hold on to goodness and generosity. She's very much invested in these children with the sense that they are her children. The investment will lead to some tension between Dame and Arthur, who may be using the situation to patch over a problem in their marriage. Interesting. So basically, to me, it sounds like an archetype of they can't have kids, so then they made them type deal. But it's interesting nonetheless, and this was all taken from this, which is a pretty big piece on Rotten Tomatoes. Worth taking a look at, actually. Rotten Tomatoes is normally dog doo-doo, but this is pretty decent. So I don't have much else to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, give the video a like and a share. Thanks so much. Take care.